Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology students, and this is for 1st February 2021. As we all know, we are revising the entire syllabus for third time in a row, and this time around the revision is in the form of test paper 2. Already we have answered test paper 1. Basically, this is to make you familiar with the topology of the questions and how you present your answers. And one thing basically you must remember is any 3 mark and 5 mark question must be substantiated with a beautiful, correctly labeled diagram. So keeping that in our background, we move to chapter number 15, Biodiversity and Conservation. So we are revising today Biodiversity and Conservation in the form of test paper 2. And I have been telling you, keep separate notes for all this. Whatever test papers I am giving, question and assertion and reasoning questions that I am giving, plus pre-board exam papers. I have given you already 2 papers. And now next week I will be giving you bunch of papers. You must keep it separate notebook. And you can quickly revise all this just before the exams. So we move ahead. Question number 1. If the outermost circle in the shown figure indicates the manipulative zone of biosphere reserve, then 1 and 2, this and this, represent what? A. Buffer zone and core zone respectively. B. Tourism zone and core zone respectively. C. Core zone and cultivation zone respectively. D. Core zone and buffer zone respectively. Question 2. If a species experiences a 90% decline over 10 years for 3 generations, would be classified as vulnerable, B. Endangered, C. Critically endangered, D. Data deficient. Question 3. Read the following statements. Insects are essentially absent from the sea. 2. The species diversity on land is generally considerably lower than the oceans. A. Statement 1 is correct but 2 is wrong. B. Both statements are wrong. C. Both statements are correct. D. Statement 2 correct but 1 is wrong. A reverse of A. Question 4. Which of the following groups represent future of ex situ conservation? A. Examples are botanical garden and biosphere reserve. B. Conserves plant germplasm and allows people participation. C. Costly, allows captive breeding and preserves recalcitrant seeds. D. Cheaper, allows captive breeding and preserve recalcitrant seeds. Now, question 5. CES stands for Center for Ecotype Services. B. Center for Ecosystem Services. C. Center for Environmental Sciences. D. Center for Ecological Sciences. So these are all MCQs, multiple choice questions. Now come to the descriptive type. Question 6. Name the region of biosphere reserve which is legally protected and where no human activity is allowed. Question 7. Name 2 alien means foreign species introduced in India. Question 8. Give the name of 2 conventional methods of ex situ conservation. Question 9. Where are the endemic species concentrated in India? Question 10. What do you mean by endemic species? Question 11. What is most important cause of biodiversity loss? This is very much expected question from this chapter. And give 3 hypotheses for explaining why tropics show greatest levels of species richness. Expected question. Question 13. Snake charmer, you must have seen in villages, came to the house and smelled the presence of cobra, which the residents had never seen in the last 10 years. The landlord agreed to allow the man to search, catch and take away with him the snake. A little judgment disagreed and drove the man away. 1. Did John man do the right thing? What values did he show? Question 2. What importance do snakes have in nature? Question 3. Draw a food web showing the place of snakes. Question 14. This question 13 is of course very important, and it's a 4-mark question. Case study question it is called. So in every chapter at least 1 or 2 case study questions we must prepare so that you can get 8 out of 8. It is worth 8 marks. Question 14. Biodiversity must be conserved as it plays an important role in many ecosystem services that nature provides. Explain any 2 services of the ecosystem. Many are there, he wants only 2. Question 15. How do ecologists estimate the total number of species present in the world? So now that we have completed the question paper, take an answer sheet, start writing the answers, and support your answers with a labeled diagram. Now once you finish that, come back to this, compare your answers with the answers that I am giving. So here we go with the answers. Question 1D, core zone and buffer zone. Explanation. Biosphere reserves are divided into number of zones. The outermost circle of biosphere represent manipulative zone followed by buffer zone and core zone respectively from outside to inside. As you are seeing, core zone, buffer zone, transition zone, and substantial development takes place here in the transition stage. Question 2. Critically endangered. Critically endangered CR species is one which has been categorized by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Sometimes you will ask you 1 mark question, expand. As is facing very high risk of extinction in the world. Criteria for critically endangered is an observed, estimated, inferred, or suspected population size reduction of 90% and below over the last 10 years or 3 generations, whichever is longer, where the causes of reduction are clearly reversible and understood and seized. Critically endangered species should be protected to avoid extinction. So care must be taken, utmost care must be taken. Question 3. Statement 1 is correct but 2 is wrong. Insects are essentially absent from the sea because insects respire using trachea from air. The species diversity on land is generally considerably higher than ocean. Therefore, statement 2 is incorrect. Question 4. C. Costly allows captive breeding and preserves recalcitrant seeds. Ex situ conservation is costly procedure. It allows captive breeding and preserves recalcitrant seeds. It's done inside laboratory at low temperature and controlled environmental conditions. 5D. Center for Ecological Sciences, CES. The Center for Ecological Sciences, found in 1983 with the support of the Ministry of Environment and Forests, offers exciting opportunities for research in variety of areas in ecology. Question 6. Core zone or natural zone. This area has undisturbed ecosystem and is legally protected. Question 7. Water has a north. Eichhornia, we say. Eichhornia crescens. Second one is carrot grass, Parthenium. These are alien species. But of course they are dominating, they are seen everywhere. Question 8. 2 conventional methods of ex situ conservation are zoological parks and botanical gardens. Question 9. Endemic species are found concentrated in Northeast, Northwest, Western Ghats, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Line-tailed macaque, I have shown you the picture of this, Western Ghats, and Andaman serpent-eagled found in Andaman Nicobar Islands are the best examples of some endemic species. Question 10. The species which are restricted or confined to a particular geographical region are called endemic species. Example, lion-tailed macaque monkeys are found exclusively in Western Ghats of India. Question 11. Habitat loss and fragmentation. This is the most important cause driving animals and plants to extinction. When large habitats are wiped out or broken up into small fragments due to various human activities, mammals and birds require large territories, and certain animals with migratory habits are badly affected, leading to population decline. Question 12. Biodiversity is not uniformly distributed throughout the world. Polar regions have very little biodiversity, whereas South America has the greatest biodiversity on the earth. There are many hypotheses for higher biodiversity in tropics. Number 1. There are no unfavorable seasons or harsh climatic regions in the tropics. Continued favorable environmental condition has helped tropical organisms to flourish more. Point 2. There is more solar energy available in the tropics, due to which productivity is higher, and this contributes to greater diversity in both plants as well as animal species. Point 3. The tropical environment is older than other types of habitats. This has provided more time for the evolution of greater number of plants and animals. Question 13. Yes, he protected the snake from being caught or killed by a snake charmer for his own selfish interest. Judgment showed values such as scientific attitude, kindness, obligation to maintain biodiversity in nature. Question 2. Snake is an important member in the food chain and food web. Here positions you can see 2 and 3. So this is the food web, and in the food web you can see the position. The first is the herbivore, producer, green plants, then it is herbivore, then carnivore, and then higher. Now this is the place that the snakes are occupying in the food web as food chain. Okay. Now you can see the interconnection of many food chains forming food web. Question 14. Ecosystem provides the direct economic benefits to humans in the form of food, like ecosystem gives us cereals, pulses, nuts and fruits. We also get many other products of commercial importance such as timber, fibers, firewood, construction material, industrial products like tannins, lubricants, dyes, resins, perfumes, and products of medicinal importance. Point 2. Forests acts as carbon sink and producers of huge amount of oxygen. The fast dwindling Amazon forest is producing 20% of the total oxygen, without which we cannot live for a moment. Thus, forest ecosystem plays a crucial role in maintaining carbon-oxygen balance in the nature. This keeps check on pollution and global warming. But unfortunately, of late, it is said that Amazon forests are getting or intentionally put on fires. Who is doing it? Human beings. We are responsible for damaging the ecosystem, and we are ultimately have to pay the penalty in having less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. So before it comes to point of no return, all human beings in the world need to think as human beings. Question 15. Ecologists make a statistical comparison of the species richness of exhaustively studied groups of insects belonging to temperate and tropical regions. Then they extrapolate this ratio to other groups of animals and plants and calculate gross estimate of total number of species present on the earth. So this question number 15, though it is for 5 marks, I doubt. So you can conveniently neglect this question number 15, because this is not a fit question for 5 mark question. Instead, you concentrate on ecosystem and the probable theories, particularly the endangered animals list, and then the animals that are available in low numbers. All these numbers you can focus on. So, and take care, keep practicing, and next session we